Yep, it's getting serious. Oh yes. It's getting very, very serious. No doubt about that. Are you serious? Wow. Exactly 12 years to the day. Here we go again. Another Arab Spring? Could it be? 12 years ago today, President Barack Obama's Arab Spring began. Where? Tunisia. What's happening today in Tunisia? Thousands of people in the streets, breaking through the barriers, surrounding the presidential palace, and demanding that President Saied be removed from power because he turned their democracy back into a dictatorship. Let me tell you all about it, plus a whole lot more, and how this relates to Barack Obama all the way to Joe Biden. 12 years ago today started the Arab Spring. Here we go again. But this time, it'll be different nations they will try to bring down. We'll start with Tunisia. First of all, let's put a shout out right now for www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. If you've started to notice an increase in the appearance of wrinkles, fine lines, bags under your eyes, or other usual signs of aging, it might be more than just stress from the new year. Your collagen levels could be low. And as you've gotten older, you may have also found that your nails are more brittle. Your hair, for me, is much thinner, and skin isn't as strong. So, which can all be related to declining collagen production. And I'm impressed because in just a week of taking the premium collagen powder, I immediately noticed a significant reduction in the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. My skin has once again regained its youthful glow. Are you serious? Hydration and hydration and elasticity is much better. Why? Because I went to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. I want you to try it, as well as experience the amazing effects it had on me. You can see it. Get a bag today. 51% off, plus receive several free bonuses before the New Year's sale ends. Hurry. Go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. And get ready to look your best in the year 2023. It's really true. It really is a great product. I mean, and there's no doubt about it. Collagen is vital. You need your collagen. And oh, by the way, that is plant. It's plant, egg, and fish collagen is what they use. Okay, there it is. Healthwithpaul.com. All right, let me tell you what's going on. Thousands of Tunisians have been rallying against their president in a revolution anniversary. Yes, 14 years ago today it started when a man set himself on fire in the middle of a huge rally against the dictatorship of 23-year dictator Ben Ali. I reported it when it happened. I covered it. You guys, if you've been with me a while, you know I covered the Arab Spring every day, from Tunisia to Egypt to Yemen to Libya into Syria. And then the Syrian thing blew up because Russia showed up. Or had Russia not showed up, President Bashir al-Assad would be gone 12 years ago. But Russia showed up, set up shop, protected Assad, and has never left. And as I told you, they would never leave. I said it. Russia's there to stay because the Bible says the hook is in the jaw. They're not going to leave. They're never going to leave. And then, matter of fact, they even opened the door for the Iranians to come in. And the Iranians are there now to fight against Israel. It's all about getting in position against Israel. So we've seen this before. Well, here we go again. Why are the Tunisian people now, 12 years exactly to the day of the beginning of the Arab Spring, 12 years to the day, Barack Obama is no longer in office. It's now Joe Biden. And why is it starting again? Well, there's good reason for it this time. I mean, I can't blame the people really, because of what has happened to them. Here's the story. Thousands of protesters have marched today against the Tunisian president Kais Saied, his seizure of this near total power again in Tunisia, demanding that he step down as they mark the anniversary of the key date of the 2011 revolution, or the Arab Spring, that brought down the 23-year dictator Ben Ali and put in place a democracy. But that democracy has been hijacked by the current president, Kais Saied. The central Habib Avenue, the traditional site for major demonstrations, was crowded with thousands of protesters waving, and that's them right there. That's the picture from earlier this morning. That's from 5 hours ago. Protesters waving Tunisian flags, and according to Reuters, journalists there, chants of "the people demand the fall of the regime." The people demand the fall of the regime. A heavy police presence remains outside the Interior Ministry building on the street, along with water cannons ready to go. I look for it to get ugly tonight as the sun goes down just about now in Tunisia. Tunisia is going through the most dangerous time in its history. Saied took control of this with all authority, and he struck down their democracy. The economy there is collapsing. "We will not be silent," said Anwar Ali, a 34-year-old demonstrator. Protesters had pushed past the police, metal barricades to reach the avenue, defying the initial efforts by the authorities to keep separate several parallel protests that had been called by different political parties and civil society organizations, all of them demanding that Saied step down. We are here. We were here in 2011 when Saied was not even present. Today we're closing down the square. We will reach it whatever the price, said Chama Asa, an activist who took part back 12 years ago today in the 2011 revolution, the Arab Spring, before the crowd pushed through the barriers. Another major opposition political party, aligned with the pre-revolution autocrats, held a separate rally in downtown Tunisia after it was banned from marching near the presidential palace in Carthage. Saied shut down the elected parliament in 2021. In other words, Saied, when he got in power, he then in 2021 just shut down the parliament that had been elected by the people, which is what a true democracy or republic is supposed to be. He just shut it down. He just seized power as a dictator. He began to reshape the political system. But low turnout for December's election of this new, mostly powerless legislative branch revealed little public appetite for his changes. They did not like all of their elected people being thrown out, and he set up this little weak legislative branch that really has no power. Meanwhile, the economy then started failing, with staple goods disappearing from the shelves. Sounds like America. And the government has not yet been able to secure an international bailout, with state finances facing bankruptcy. They can't get no help from the rest of the world to bail out their failing economy. The main political forces include most parties and labor unions now oppose Saied's project, and many of them are calling it an anti-democratic coup, which is exactly what it is. They have failed to repair deep ideological and personal fissures, however, which have divided them for years rather than forming a united front. Many parties still reject a role for the biggest party, the Islamist Ennahda. The powerful UGTT labor union seeks a national dialogue, but will not invite any party that accuses Saied of a coup. So the protest comes 12 years to the day after the ousting of the former leader, 23 years, Ben Ali. I can't believe I covered that day, and here I am 12 years later talking about this again. How fast has these 12 years gone, and how much stuff has happened in these 12 years? How much prophecy? An unstable Middle East is part of the end time prophecy. that brings the chaos, the carnage, the collapse, the confusion, all of this to literally a Middle East mess that is still there and is reigniting again. While there have been no major crackdowns on the opponents of Saied, in other words, he hasn't gone after his opponents, police have allowed most protests against him. Their handling, though, of the demonstrators last year was more forceful, prompting condemnation from the right. So it's a soft coup. This guy got elected, but basically he was a plant. Who knows who supported him? Who funded his campaign in Tunisia? One has to ask. Do we check with George Soros? Did they check with Klaus Schwab? I don't know. But however, this guy got in power, he then decided to do away with the democracy of which the people had already had a revolution 12 years ago to have. So now, once again, they face another tyrant dictator who this time is very calm, very calculated, very smooth. He's trying to take it over. But you see, here's the problem. When people can't get jobs, when the shelves go empty, when the freedoms they had start disappearing, this is when the oppressed are tired of the oppressor, they rise up. We've seen this, and you will see this, and we have seen it in history of the earth since the dawning of time. And here we are again. But this time, how will this thing work out? Well, let's take a look at the Middle East. 12 years. 12 years ago, Ben Ali fell today. On January 18th, Hosni Mubarak, the 42-year-old, or 32, I think it was 32, 32-year-old, 32 years dictator of Egypt, fell. Just about a couple months later, the president of Yemen, I forgot his name, he fell after being shot 7 times. Then the president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, after 42 years, was brutally murdered in the street by his own people because of his brutal regime. He and his Hussein and Qusay, his sons, ran. And so Libya fell. And then it spread into Syria, where Assad would have went down, except that Russia stepped in, Putin stepped in and saved him. And it continues to keep it. They use Assad as a puppet government, and the Russians and the Iranians use Syria as a staging ground to position themselves for a potential war with Israel. There's no doubt about this. What I'm telling you is the absolute truth. Everyone knows it. And from a Bible prophecy standpoint, it fits perfectly with what the Bible says will be happening in the last days. The wars, the rumors of wars, and the unstableness of governments, and the surrounding of Israel. All of this is in the Bible. Today, Syria is just what I said it was. Tunisia is struggling and protesting. Egypt would have been under a dictator named Mohammed Morsi, who was a personal friend of the Clintons and of former President Obama. This is who Obama wanted. Remember, Obama's the one that got rid of Hosni Mubarak, who had kept peace with Israel for 32 years and had a thriving economy 12 years ago. But Hillary Clinton said he needs to go. Barack Obama said he needs to go. The Egyptian people rose up and got rid of him. After 1 year with Mohammed Morsi, who was the former head of the Muslim Brotherhood, once that guy got in charge, he got rid of their parliament, their Congress. He got rid of all of their governors. He fired all 70 governors. He fired their entire legislative branch. He started implementing Sharia law, and he started putting the hammer on these people. Thousands of people were killed, murdered, tortured, butchered. Thousands of Christians were killed. Coptic Christians, it was disaster. And what happened? The people of Egypt cried out. And so one of the generals who was working for Morsi, who had already been a general for Mubarak, named Al-Sisi, stood up and said to the other generals, "We're not going to have it. Arrest this guy. We're taking this country back." And so they did. He just went in and arrested Mohammed Morsi, put him in jail, and set up a council to run Egypt 5 generals ran Egypt for 18 months, stabilized the government, stabilized relationship with nations around. Barack Obama was furious because Morsi was his man. Morsi was his guy. And Sisi said, I don't care what you think. This guy's destroying the nation of Egypt. I'm taking it back for my people. So good news was 18 months later, they had an election, and El Sisi was elected, became the president of Egypt, of which he still is today. And when after Trump got back in office, then El Sisi was the first foreign leader to fly to Washington to meet with President Trump, rebuilding the bridge between Egypt and America and Egypt and Israel. Sisi working with Netanyahu, continued the peace, stopped the threat of any war, and really saved and delayed a major situation that could have blown sky high in the Middle East. If had Morsi, I can tell you, if Mohammed Morsi had remained in power, Israel would have been attacked by now by the Iranians and whoever else, the Egyptians, because Morsi was coming. He said, he even held a rally, said millions of Muslims will march on Jerusalem. We've showed you guys that. So we all know how that agenda went. So that got held back. So now Egypt is thriving, got a good economy, tourism's back, a stable relationship with the United States and Israel, and things continue to go forward. Now, not so good for Yemen, because after they got rid of their leader, well, basically Iran took that country with the Houthi rebels, and it's a staging ground against Saudi Arabia. They continue to fire drones and rockets and missiles and kill people across the border in Saudi Arabia. We already know that's going on. It still hasn't changed. And Libya, it's been a mess since Muammar Gaddafi went down. The brutal dictator that he was. I still to this day, we don't know really who's running that country. It's 2 or 3 different factions. It depends which part of the country you're in is who's in power. So it's a mess. Okay. And it's dangerous because basically Chevron Oil is running that country, maintaining security and peace over the oil wells so that at least the oil can keep flowing out of there. So yeah, that's kind of how the Middle East is shaping up right now. But Iran is still a major threat in the region to Israel, and they are building their relationship with their proxies. They're strong with Hamas. They're strong with Hezbollah in Lebanon. They're strong with the Houthis in Yemen. They're strong with Al-Qaeda. They're working with the Syrians and the Russians. And really, it's the Iranians who are trying to capture the entire Middle East. So this is what it's coming down to. This is what it's really coming down to. The wars, the rumors of wars. And here we go again. 12 years later, here we go again. We're living in the last days. Guys, you don't want to miss the webinar. The webinar that's coming up in just 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, on January 27th. January 27th. It's called Concerned. Concerned. What are we concerned about? CERN. Boy, we got an in-depth information about CERN. You got to hear what this is. Also, we're touching on the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab. Yes. We're going to be talking about that in detail. It's incredible information we have. It's going on right now, even as we speak. It is going on right now. And it's going on till the end of the month. So, wow. Then also we're going to be talking about Agenda 2030. That's the United Nations Agenda 2030 and how that's affecting and reshaping the strategies of the whole world to bring about, I think, a beast kingdom, and maybe by that year 2030. And we'll be talking about the new world order, the beast kingdom itself. All of that's covered in this webinar. And we brought in our best experts for this webinar we could. Stan Deyo is amazing. How he's a former FBI agent who uncovered the New World Order and the beginning stages of the mark of the beast. He was recruited. He was working on it. When he realized what he was doing, he fled. He exposed those involved, and he fled the United States. What a great guy he is. You guys, I've had him before. We've talked, but man, he really brings it out in an incredible way. You don't want to miss this. His is the best part I've ever seen him do. Doug Hagman, he digs deep into the World Economic Forum. He exposes them with charts, graphs, and discussions that it's going to shock you. That's from Doug Hagman. And then, of course, Mike from around the world is going to just tear apart this whole thing, the wave, the 17 waves of energy, and other events that are coming up on the earth, including those of you who are wondering what he meant about UK and other things. He's going to go into detail, things I can't even tell you. You don't want to miss what Mike Around the World is going to tell us. It's going to be one of the most eye-opening and revealing webinars ever. And then Rex Bear, who has a family member who worked at CERN, breaks down the connections involved with CERN and some of the world organizations as they have this diabolical plan. And then there is Bishop Larry Ragland, who does a phenomenal job connecting CERN with the World Economic Forum, which I didn't see how those two, and not just those two, but all of the different agencies and organizations that come out of that part of the world. Are you serious? How can one country have all of that? Right there, but in Switzerland. But there you have Geneva, you have all that. What does it all mean? And of course, Bart Begley does a documentary, which is phenomenal, on this entire concept of concern. And I will bring you all of it. I'll tie it all together in a presentation, probably the most in-depth presentation I've ever done on a webinar. I usually just kind of sum up what everybody else says, but not this time. I'm digging deep and bringing out stuff that none of my other guys have brought up. Stuff we also, maybe I'm just filling in the gaps, but I'm definitely going to come after this thing with everything I got. We're in the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Get your tickets now. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw it up there. Thank you, Miss CD. There it is. You can get your tickets right now. You can go to Eventbrite and get your tickets. That's one way to get it. And the other way is you get the tickets if you just go to our website and order your ticket right at the website. Real easy to do. Real easy to do. Or pick up the phone right now and call and order your ticket over the phone. See, I want you to have your ticket already done, already got it, and ready to get your email. It'll get sent to you on January 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern exactly. Here comes your email link to takes you to the webinar. I want you to get it, have it done, get it out of the way. Let's get ahead of this thing because it's going to be one of the biggest, most powerful, eye-opening webinars we've ever done, called Concerned. Yeah, we're very concerned. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Let me see if I can grab the ticket over here at Paul Begley. Here we go. I'll just throw that up there. Let me grab it. Here it is. Boom, boom, boom. Now let me put it in the chat room for you real fast here. Easy way to get the ticket is right here as well. Just go to my website. Pastor Paul's Agenda 2030 actually is part. Whoa! Pastor Paul's Agenda 2030 actually a part of Agenda. No, Agenda 21 is actually a part of Agenda 2030. It's Agenda 2030 is the big umbrella. Agenda 21, the depopulation part, that's actually one of the agendas in the Agenda 2030. But you're right, they're connected big time. Where'd my here? Get your ticket. Get your ticket right there. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. Just go to my website, and right on the front page is a banner. It says, new webinar. Here it is, January 27th. Click on it. Takes you right there. Order your ticket. There's the link. Go get it done now, guys. Get ready. We're living in the last days. We're living in the last. Yeah, you're right. Pastor, probably the deep research you've labored in for your upcoming book has given you the advantage on CERN and webinar. You're exactly right. It has. Well, actually, it's given me the advantage on CERN, the whole thing, all of them. Yeah, because in my new book coming out, it covers it all. All right. God bless you guys. I love you guys. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Don't be left behind for sure.
I see geese flying high above the water, a child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy and chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep,
God bless you, PJ.
reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long.
That's right, Lisa.
As I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. I feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday. Falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long. As I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long. As I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway.